The Wisdom Center Church and the Mike Murdoch Ministry welcomes the special edition of the World of Blessing. The World of Blessing is dedicated to your inspiration. Now, here's Dr. Mike Murdoch.
Precious family, Mike Murdoch here. Welcome to the World of Blessing. The World of Blessing. Why is there such a difference in people? I saw several of the homeless, and I'm really affected by the homeless. I've fed 1,000 families a week for years and years. I've poured out $600,000 in an orphanage in South Africa. $500,000, $500,000 I've invested in the children in Port of Vallarta, Mexico. I built a three-story high dormitory for 42 preachers sleeping under trees in India. I built a tent factory in Johannesburg, costing tens of thousands of dollars. I've been told that 8,000 churches were built because of it. I want to talk to you about this question. Who's teaching you? Who are you willing to learn from? Who's willing to teach you? Pain motivates us to reach for the emergency room, the ambulance, and the doctors. Pigs motivated the prodigal son. Starvation and a dead child was the motivation for the widow of Zarephath to get involved with the preacher Elijah. I want to talk to you about your learning habits. The last 12 months, I've learned so much and I can't believe it. I went to Bible school 3 semesters. I bought 13,000 books. I've asked 10,000 questions of preachers I admired, and even Muhammad Ali, the boxer. I have a passion to learn. What stops our learning? Probably the teaching that God's in control. Do you realize how ignoramus that is? Do you realize how stupid and idiotic it is? If God's in control of everything, explain rape. Explain murder. Explain the attack on the 3,000 pastors in Ukraine. If God's in control, why pray? Why pray? In Matthew chapter 6, Jesus told us a prayer that our Father wanted to hear every day. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Why pray for his will to be done if he's already in control? Nothing is more absurd than to think that everything that happens, bad and good, is controlled by God. If a baby's killed, is that what you tell the family at the funeral? That alcoholic who plowed into your car was ordained of God. God wanted a new young flower in heaven. God wanted a baby in heaven, so he inspired an alcoholic to kill your baby on the freeway. If your daughter is raped, Dad, do you tell the police at the station when she's laying there raped and crying and say, we believe God was in control? It'll work out all right. Of course, God is not in control. That's why Isaiah 1:17 was written. Learn to do well. That's why Deuteronomy 28 is so clear that if I will honor his statutes, it will go well for me and there will be blessing in my life. Something I'm doing is deciding something that's happening. Wisdom key. Something I am doing. You know, I've had a heart attack, 5 tumors in my head, and sugar diabetes, cancer. And I was praying one morning. I said, Lord, I really want you to heal me. And he said back to me, he whispered in my heart, I'm going to need your cooperation. I didn't know about sugar. I just knew I loved ice cream and donuts. I didn't know about carbohydrates and high carbs. All I knew is I love to eat. And I had to do some learning. 3 things drive us to learning: pain and loss, mentorship, someone who's over our life and are very protective, and admiration of successful people. I want to talk about your learning. Where you are untaught, where you're unlearned, needs your attention. I have someone in my world that weighs about 400 pounds, 450. I paid a lot of money to try to get them well, but they won't. They won't quit eating. I don't blame them. I love eating more than, it's one of the highest 3 pleasures on the earth, isn't it? You got to get involved in your learning, family. Family, you have to get involved in your learning. I'm a slow learner. I flunked D- in algebra. So I met with Mr. John Rucker at the school, and I said, would you stay after school to teach me? He spent 2.5 hours. I could not figure out how X plus Y could equal Z. I was good with numbers. I was very good with numbers, but I couldn't understand the algebra purpose. 2.5 hours he taught me. I went to straight A's. Spend time with someone you admire, who knows something you don't know. Invest in it. Wise man will listen. Chapter 1, verse 5. A wise man will hear. I'm a pursuer of wisdom. Am I a wise man? Of course not. I'm trying to get wise. There's lots of people a lot smarter than me, but I'm reaching. Matthew 7, ask, seek, knock. The purpose of wisdom is protection. Proverbs 2, verses 5, 12, and 16. The reward of wisdom is money, finances. Who are you willing to learn from? My father knew nothing about the law of sowing and reaping, but he prayed 4 hours a day with his hands upraised. And he taught me the number one secret of life. Just know the voice of the Spirit. When I got 58 years old, one sentence in a billionaire's book changed my whole ministry, changed my office staff. One sentence. I don't even know if he goes to church. I don't even know if that billionaire, I don't even know if that billionaire is a Christian. Who are you willing to learn from? In 2 hours of prayer, God gave me 106 decisions to make. And he entitled it, he spoke to me. I was on my knees in my house, my prayer room. Decisions decide your wealth. Your decisions, not your prayer life. My father prayed 4 hours a day and didn't have $4 a day to send me to Bible school. Learn from successful people. I spent 19 years writing a book, Secrets of the Richest Man Who Ever Lived. 19 years. And a lady got angry because I charged $15 for the book. Solomon's temple was valued at $500 million. I studied every word I could find. I found the 31 secrets of his life. I wrote a book on it, and a lady's mad because of $15 charge. I gave her the book. What are you willing to invest? Years ago, I hired, I think it was 3 or 4 millionaires to come teach at a school of ministry. Half my staff wouldn't come to one session. Five millionaires teaching on the laws of wealth, and half of my staff wouldn't come. And it was free. What's the number one sin in the world? Probably unthankfulness. What's the number 2 sin in the world? Probably the unwillingness to listen. What's the first mistake you'll ever make in your life? The unwillingness to reach. Who do you admire and why? Phone call came. A friend of mine says, Peter J. is going to be in Austin for 4 or 5 hours. 4 hours, I think it was. If he'd like to meet with you, it's his anniversary, 50th year's anniversary. He's a billionaire from Australia. He got saved under Billy Graham. He was an illiterate bricklayer who could neither read nor write. My friend said he'll be there this afternoon. I was flying out the opposite direction. I went to my secretary and said, get me a flight to Austin, Texas. She said, you're going to lose $500 on your other flight. You already have a ticket. I said, I know. But how often do you get to talk to a billionaire? I wrote questions on the plane. What would I ask him? The first question I asked him about was marriage. I said, talk to me about your 50 years marriage. What's the secret of a good woman? He said, the first most important thing is her temperament. What is her temperament? He never did tell me to pray for her. Those, wisdom key, those who have more than you know more than you. Those who have something you don't have know something you don't know. Wisdom key. What you don't hear, you will never, never, never learn. What you don't hear, you will never, never learn. What you don't read, you will never, never know. What you don't read twice, you will always forget. Benny Hinn asked me to preach for him at a big conference. 22,000 people here in Dallas. That was Friday night and Saturday. On Sunday, the pastor of an 18,000 member church, a friend of mine, I love him, I like him, I admire him. He went on television on Sunday morning telling everybody that Benny Hinn's ministry was not real, that people were paid to jump out of wheelchairs, and he believed that the prayer language, the speaking in tongues, was of the devil. Can I tell you about this preacher? He's as good as gold. He speaks Greek and Hebrew. He reads the Bible in Greek and Hebrew. But he didn't believe in healing. Can a smart man be stupid? Of course. Of course. Solomon was the wisest man who ever lived. And all he talked about in Proverbs was bad women, wealth and wisdom and work and words. There were 6 W's. He ended up his life in Proverbs 31 and Ecclesiastes saying, I can't find a good woman. I can't find a good woman. Who can find a woman who's kind and trustworthy? Who can find a good woman? He ended his life crying out, Solomon, and Jesus said he was the wisest man who ever lived. World history. My grade, D-. The teacher, the number 1 teacher in America chosen by the Dwight Eisenhower Presidential Institute in Pennsylvania. They said he was the best teacher, history teacher in all of America. And I sat under him making D-. They made us change classes because of a mistake he made. I went and sat under Mr. Fox, 4 feet away on the front seat. And I went to A+ under Mr. Fox. Does a teacher make a difference? A profound difference. I want you to have my book. It's book 897. This may be the last day I offer it. My telephone number is 855. Mike Murdoch here. I hadn't sung today, have I? You make me want to sing. You make me want to live like a king. Got my piano here. I didn't sing today. My phone number is 855. Yes, book. YES, just like it sounds. 855, yes, book. The book number is 897. It's free. Go to my website. I have 5 powerful books free on download for download. MikeMurdochBooks.com. I've given away over 20 million books. I'd rather sow than sell. I'd rather sow than sell. My private email address, Dr. Mike at thewisdomradio.com. Dr. Mike at thewisdomradio.com. You're listening on my radio here, Heaven 600, iHeart. Boy, I'm thrilled. Several people have told me they're listening to me every night, Monday through Friday. 8 o'clock, New York time. 8 o'clock, East Coast. 7 o'clock if you're listening from Dallas, Texas. If you're in New York, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, I'm on a Heaven 600 from Baltimore, and they're linked to a network called iHeart. iHeart, H-E-A-R-T, iHeart. My prayer number is 888 prayers. 2 are better than 1, and a threefold cord is not easily broken. 888 prayers. I've asked the Lord to raise up 66 people who will sow a $66 seed in honor of the Bible. I really, really wished you would invest in that. I really believe when you open your hands, God opens his windows. My partner number is 844, Bible 66. Father, I pray for the 66 partners who are listening to me now. I ask you to provide them an extra $66 through their work, their business. Some have it in a retirement fund. But Lord, I ask you for 66 who will walk with me into the world of blessing. Lord, this world of blessing is not normal. It requires covenant with you. I don't know who the 66 are. There may be a lady who's a widow. She may live alone, but she needs the harvest from her $66 seed of honor. Father, there may be a preacher, and he's helping so many missionaries. He's helping so many other people, but he could be a part of Bible 66. 844 Bible 66. Honor this dollar, this $66, Father. I ask you within 21 days to bring this $66 seed back 10 times. Lord, I pray that this $66 seed unlocks rivers of favor in their family and in their business life. Father, I ask you for every Bible 66 partner to make the best decisions they've ever made in their financial life. Father, some tithe to our ministry. I ask you in 90 days, let them see the return in shocking, stunning ways. Amen. I want to tell you a little story that I've shared 2 or 3 times. As most of you know, I'm live every day on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Rumble. I'm live every day, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock in the mornings, Texas time. Texas time. Live. I hope you watch me, become a part. I was in Los Angeles at a Jimmy Swaggart banquet, partners. He asked everybody to sow a $500 seed. I didn't have $500. I went up and told him. I said, Jimmy, I do have in my garage 500 of my long-playing albums. I will send those 500 albums to you, and you can sell them in your newsletter or something and get some payback. He was very gracious. Family, you sow what you have. I didn't have $500, but I gave my record albums. Within weeks, Jimmy Swaggart, I've spent night at his home. I've known him for many years, very close. He put that album in his monthly newsletter called The Evangelist. And suddenly, doors opened all over America. I would estimate 28 to 30 states. Pastors begin to write me, call me, and say, Mike, come preach for us. I didn't have hardly any revivals, but I sowed that seed. I call it the seed for golden connection. The seed for golden connection. I want to pray for 12 people to sow a $500 seed in the next 30 days toward our radio and TV ministry. You'll know if you're one of the 12. 12's the number of favor in the Bible. 12 gates of Jerusalem. 12 tribes of Israel. 12 disciples. Father, tonight on the radio, here with me in the world of blessing, I ask you to provide a $500 seed to 500 of my family, my love family here. 500's not a little seed, Lord. For some people, 500 is a sacrificial seed of honor, but they'll know who they are. I ask you for the harvest of a golden connection. Lord, I'm asking you for the 12 people who sow a $500 seed within 30 days. Give them a circle of 5 people they can trust. 5 people who will trust them. That's the harvest I'm asking you for, Father. Lord, I never realized I didn't have $1 in the savings account, but I gave what I had, the 500 record albums to Jimmy Swaggart. And suddenly, pastors all across America opened the door of favor to my ministry. Lord, there's not a single doubt in my mind that this $500 seed is going to create a circle of 5 new friends they can trust. 5 people who can trust them. In Jesus' name, amen. I want to send you 200 books on an ebook reader as a celebration of your seed of honor for God's work. There's 12 people, you'll know who you are, that in the next 30 days will sow a $500 seed. There's 2 or 3 people that wish you had the 500. I think God's going to provide it for you because he said he would give seed to a sower. I want to send you 200 of the first books I ever wrote. It's called Library 200 on an ebook reader. You can put it in your briefcase. It's a beautiful it's an ebook reader. They call it a tablet. I want to send you 200 of the first books I ever wrote. And everywhere you carry it, you'll have your library. It's actually a lifetime library for you. Call this number, 844-BIBLE-66. Would you write that down? That's my partner number. Any seed you want to sow, 844-BIBLE-66. I believe in miracles. I believe in a good, good God. I believe. Oh, I believe. I believe in his promise to bless me, to break the chains and set me free. I believe. I truly believe. Thank you for being one of the 12 to sow a $500 seed in the next 30 days. I love you with all my heart. Good night, Mike Murdock.
Thank you for joining Dr. Mike Murdock today. Visit our website when possible, theworldofblessing.com.